Okay, here's the recap for this lab and challenge for this week of the modeling class. This one's probably going to be pretty long, but there won't be too much to talk about just because, like, it wasn't super challenging, but it was a lot of work, and there are just a lot of projects. So I'll go through each one individually real quick and probably not talk about too much, but um, oh, that makes more sense. Okay, so I started off with the hammer because this one is the one I messed up on the most. When I was doing the the oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? I'm not sure. When I was coloring it in Substance Painter, I exported all the textures, and then when I used the textures, I accidentally used a model that didn't have any UVs. So maybe that's why it looks like this. Maybe not. And so this is the one with UVs. It ended up looking pretty okay, especially in the final product. See if we can run that. With the lighting and everything, it ended up working out pretty well. It looks just like the Substance Painter version, but not as good. This is losing a little bit of texture, but it looks alright. It looks fine. So we'll just go in order kind of the units-ish. So I guess we can go to the chair next, or why don't we just go in alphabetical order? That'll make it easier for me. So we'll open this one up. This is what it looked like when it was fully rendered, which is kind of weird. I didn't like it very much, but it was better than this. I'm not really sure why this ended up being this color. It's kind of strange. If we look at these, at the textures themselves, right, the blade looks like this. So it's not completely black. I thought that was very strange. And then when you add lighting to it, I guess it makes it lighter or whatever. And this part is supposed to look like this. This is the other part right here as well, which is more black, but not as much. The texture right here didn't really work out for whatever reason. I can go try to look at the UVs here. Yeah, so the UV ended up being really weird. I'm not... I don't know. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. What if... Hold on, maybe I mess around with this a little bit. It's like, what does it look like on this side? Huh. Maybe I was just doing the wrong thing. I don't know. It still doesn't have the original textures that I wanted. Especially when I was like cutting into the metal and stuff. Right here it kept it. I cut in a little bit here too, but I don't think it kept it. If it was on the other side, let's see, I still think it wasn't there right here, but that's okay. And these shiny parts are like way too shiny, maybe. So this one was kind of interesting also. I wasn't quite sure how to fix that, so I figured I'd leave it as it is and show it like that. Next up, we can take a look at the chair. Hopefully this pulls up the right files. I had a lot of, I don't know, there was a lot of doing the same thing over and over again, and I kind of messed up in a few of them. So I tried to fix it to the best of my abilities without, messing anything else up. So here's, we'll close this out really quick. Yeah, this is the right one. I think this one turned out pretty okay. It was pretty straightforward. Just take the textures into Maya on this one and then just do some lighting. And the lighting worked out pretty well also, so that was really nice. Yeah, that's it. This one is pretty simple. Oh, and I'll mention too that originally, like it is right now, it was all one object, right? And so what I had to do was select the faces, and then when the faces were all selected, just like this basically, select all the faces at once, right? And then I'd go up to edit mesh, do detach, and then go to separate, And then for a lot of them, I combined them all again at the end, but some of them I didn't. So when it's separated like that, it makes it possible to actually take these, right, and put this on each of them. Although this one I didn't have to separate because this one was all one texture. But anyways, we'll take a look at the next one also. The Diglett one, which was kind of fun. Because originally, well, I don't need to show you the screenshot, I'll just show you in the Maya. I'll just close these two. We don't need these anymore. Oops. Sure. It's probably going to ask me that for each one, so that's going to be a pain. I'll just save that and close it. Okay. This one was interesting because right here it looks like this, obviously, which is interestingly not what this texture looked like. This is the texture that goes here, but when I put the lighting on and open it up here, you can see that that texture shows up, which I thought was quite interesting. I don't know. This one again was pretty straightforward. There were a lot of different parts and pieces that I had to separate out to make it like detach and separate. But I think it worked out pretty well. And then this one was super simple. We checked out the hammer already, so then we had the lamp. And this one didn't work well at all, actually. Some of them I thought weren't working well, and then when I added the lighting, it worked like perfectly. This one just didn't work. I don't know if it was the UVs or what, but it only had one texture, which was this metallic texture. I really wish that this could have been better, but it wasn't, because I just used extrude to build this all the way up. So it was very... I actually could have added another texture given the just selecting the faces and detaching them and separating them, but I didn't know that at the time. So when I went in to do this one, I added the texture to it and put it in, and I got this instead of the other ones, and I couldn't figure out how to get the correct, I don't know, panel, the correct view. When I do this, it does that. It's very strange, and it only did it with this one. I couldn't figure out how or why. And I also don't know why it's black. But there we go. That's the lamp. Pretty incredible. This is the new one that I did for the challenge. I'm putting the lab and the challenge together. I did them both at the same time. And so the hypershade doesn't want to work. There we go. So this was two different textures. The rubber texture, which is for the outside, you'll see in a second, and the speaker texture, which had a bunch of different parts to it, as you can see. So, and it's not JBL. So this was my speaker that I just put in here, and I added, these are my reference images right over here too. So it was pretty straightforward, just modeling it, and in order to model it, I used a lot of, what's it called, the Quadra tool. It was very useful in drawing this, as well as using the curves and the NURBS. I think that was pretty much all that I used, and then, this in the middle was a big cylinder that I morphed to make it fit here. The only thing I would really change is in Substance Painter I didn't make this in the center, and it kind of bugs me. But it's not super important, I guess. I thought this was fun. I got like the speakers to come out, and honestly, and that could have been a lot better as well if I wasn't using a mouse, but honestly I think that this is the project that was the most fun, that I was most proud of, and then I added the lights to it as well to get it from both angles. Makes two shadows here. I thought that that's the way that it looked the best. You can see the netting texture and stuff like that in there also. and then that metallic texture on the writing comes out too in that image. But that's that. So that one was pretty simple. It just took a lot of time. All these just took a lot of time. This one didn't work exactly how I wanted it to, and I couldn't quite figure out how to fix that issue. We'll take a look. So it should be 3 different textures here in the Hypershade that I used. The bold texture, yeah, there's the bold texture. I was hoping it would work right, but you'll see in a second, it didn't really work out. That's not right. That's not right either. Hold on. Something happened. I don't think this is the right file. There's probably another one somewhere that I'll find in a second. Well, I'm not really sure what happened, but we can take a look at these images anyway. So this is what the picture turned out to look like. I didn't put the plane below it, but it has that shine right there, the bold texture with the fish and the house in there as well. Here's a screenshot of what it looked like in Maya with the lighting coming in, and you can see right through the bowl here, but for some reason when I add the light in, it doesn't work as well. I thought it was maybe a transparency thing, but I guess it really wasn't. So that's that one. Hopefully I can find the model again in a second. But then the starship, we can look at the starship. It's fine. Hopefully this one is the right model that comes up. We'll see. This one, the actual texture that I got in here was not the best, just because of the way that I rendered it in Substance Painter, but I think it turned out okay in here. Right here it looks stupid, but I added all these lighting points to kind of simulate stars. I didn't add like a lot, but then looking at it here, I thought it was just enough that it looked kind of like it was out in space, which I thought was pretty cool. The gold here, I couldn't figure out how to put it in the right spots, so it's kind of in weird places, but the lighting was a huge focus on this one for me. That made this one a lot of fun, trying to get that light to work correctly. It looks like it's out of a super low quality Star Trek movie, so that's fun. And last but maybe least, the table. Now the table was the same deal as the chair, actually, like the exact same thing, because I modeled them the same and I textured them the same, so they'd kind of be a stupid little matching set, but yeah, it was like super easy, super simple. I don't even think I had to separate these either, because there was like one texture to put in there. The lighting is a little bit dramatic on this one, but there you go. That's it. That's all of the projects. Some of them turned out better than others, and there are a lot of things that I would fix if I did this again, but as it is now, I think it turned out pretty well, most of them. And I get the concept that we were going for. Hopefully in the future I can get it to work for me a little bit better using the UVs and the textures and the lighting, but it was a lot of fun.